What's up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. I appreciate you guys for joining each and every time you guys do decide to join me. We're here. Yeah, got both bikes out today, man. I'm gonna be riding one. I don't even know which one I'm gonna ride. It's probably gonna be the Road King. Let's go over a few things, man. March 7th through the 10th, I will be in Daytona. Guys, if you can, come out. Daytona Bike Week, man. I mean, I'm hitting it in the middle of the week, and I'm gonna take that second weekend on in. So I think I can catch, I can catch enough stuff going on. It's gonna be very busy out there. This year, I expect it to be really big. All the new bikes that just came out, a lot of the younger guys are gonna be really out there with their bikes, It's gonna be a lot of modified bikes. It's gonna be a lot of things people wanna see and people wanna buy. Don't forget that part. It's always a bunch of vendors out there, and I think that's usually the best time if you wanna get something done quick and right on the spot, you go to Daytona Bike Week. So let's get into some news. Bipolar's ready to go. She will be coming. The Road King is coming. He's ready to rock and roll. But I'm supposed to have a race, guys. I'm supposed to have a race, and I don't know if I'm going to do it. I'll be honest with you guys. After last year and the other 364 days of after the aftermath of that that race, I mean, why? At the end of the day, why? Because I didn't get anything out of the deal, guys. I mean, I got a lot of backlash. I mean, I was called a cheater. There was just a lot of things that didn't sit well with me, and it kind of took away from my win. Yeah, when you got to criticize somebody else's win, then where's the fun in that? We're not betting money. This is not gambling. This is not that type of thing. I'll see you never, ever again in my life. No, I'm going to see some people again, I want it to be fun. But from what I saw and what I've been hearing, it just wasn't what I imagined it would be. So, I agreed to a race this year, 2024. Anthony at Do Work, shout out to him. I agreed to a race with him, and I told him in the beginning, I said, listen, as long as there's no controversy, as long as there's no BS between the subscribers and, we letting it play out on the channel, because we didn't come for that. Guys, you saw, Anthony came down to my mechanic, right? I had no problem with it. He told me, hey, I want to come down and get my bike tuned by George. Well, then it turns into a whole, pretty much a build. Yeah, he has to take the motor apart, sell you parts, and pretty much build that bike for you to get you where you need to be. And there's nothing wrong with that. But now, you're not a part of the camp, but you're a customer. I really don't race the customers, and I would never race anybody in the camp. We might test every now and then just to see how these bikes are running and make sure everybody's on their A game. But other than that, we don't do that. An all-American cycle built bike now. Yeah, guys, and I'm not downplaying his bike, and I'm not, doing anything like that, but I will say this. Everything on his bike is what I had last year. Look at the exhaust, look at the air filter, look at the tune, look at the tuner, look at the builder, look at all those things, and then you're expecting me to race you. Now, there's no problem. This bike is plenty fast. This bike will get the job done. But the problem is, if I were to do that and come to Michigan to race you, it would look a little funny. See, guys don't want to see the actual picture here. The picture is, I can't come into your backyard and use the builder that built your bike to race you. The builder, he can only do his job. Now, there's been some bashing going on. So imagine if George starts to get bashed because I beat one of his customers. I don't need that. George doesn't need that. And we've already seen kind of like where that goes. It's never anything good at the end of the day. So besides that, I said, well, as long as we keep the subscribers in order and keep the, comments to, something safe. I always delete comments. And if somebody's persistent, I will block them. Yeah, I give you a couple of chances, man. But once you're all over the place, because I've never bought negative energy. I've never even bragged about the race. It was just a race, whatever happened. But I did say things I didn't like. And that's just where I kept it. So I've always deleted. That didn't really happen for me. I just happened to be shown things. Hey, screenshots and send to me these guys that are talking about me on his channel. One of the comments were, you took your bike down to All-American Cycles. Now, Mac knows everything that's done to your bike. Okay, so let's figure this thing out. You brought your bike there because you wanted power. I get it. You invited me there. You said, let's collab. I get that too. Nothing wrong with it. But I would step away anytime something's being done. I didn't hear much of what was going on. It's just when you came out and you looked like you weren't happy with your bike the first time because it made, I guess, 150 horsepower. This is what you told me. I said, hey, man, let me pat you on the back. He's going to get it right. If anybody can get it right, it's George. Now, you know, things happen. They have to do things. They have to trade out parts that you know, everybody prides themselves off of what they can do. I pride myself off of me having to be, I can ride my bike. He prides himself off of being able to put bikes together, I guess. I mean, but now that ain't the case. So now it's built by George. I don't see anything unless you tell me. But now that I know, I mean, you felt like self-reporting, I guess. You just wanted to get it out there and say, hey, this is what I got now. Where we're going to be at here. Well, if this bike still beats you, then what? All your comment section, because you don't delete the comments, are going to bash. But in your specific comment, you said, well, that's Mac's backyard. That's his hometown. That's his hometown shop. Why wouldn't someone let him know? Why wouldn't they let him know? If Mac, he said that basically somebody was going to tell me his numbers. Brother, I don't need to know the numbers. I know what I had last year and what you have this year are still not compatible, and especially to what I have this year. Horsepower means nothing to me. At the end of the day, it's how good the bike works. Look, I got heavy wheels, the bike is heavy, and I beat him with a full sound system in the bike. But I still got called a cheater. The cheater part was, I guess, that I came with more horsepower, but nobody said he was a cheater at any time during the video. I don't blame him for what happened, but at the same time, you got to clear some things up, man. You got to clear things up. If you slapped the shop in the face and said there was no way that we would know, I mean, that there's no way I wouldn't know, that's a slap in the face. So then the race happened, okay? Let's go back a little step. The race happened. His bike sat out a bike in front of me. We ran 1/8 of a mile. Those simple rules, man. Flashlight, your guy does everything. He does the flashlight. Your guy stands in front of my bike. Your guy does all this. We set all this up. The views weren't there. Nobody really was like, oh, big deal. And I think, you know, he's coming to get his lick back, and that's all fine and dandy. But I think me being called the cheater is what draws the line. If you're sitting in front of me, how am I still the cheater? How am I able to take a victory and just move on with my day and not have to worry about it? Because there were plenty of comments, but the comments that weren't combated is my problem. Yeah, they're only going to be worse this year when I bring my setup versus your setup, because you feel like, because I know your setup, I can actually beat it. Well, don't forget, my bike was done too. He came to the shop, he saw my setup. You still wanted to race, right? You still wanted to race me. If you don't believe he looked at it, well, I'll show you. If you don't believe he believes there's more horsepower on my bike than his, then, hey, ask him. He's going to tell you, he's going to be truthful. I believe that part, but at the same time, I gave everything last year. Your guys, your flashlight, you know, your guy sits in front of me, your guy sits in front of you. I got one guy on my team. He's my cameraman, he's sitting behind me. How's that play out? If I would have lost that race, I would never get another run back. Now, I don't know too many champions that will go down and fight another fighter again unless the payout's good. Now, I don't want any money, but there is something I do want. Yeah, there's something I do want, and there's something you might be upset about. And I'm going to tell you like this. This bike right here is out of your class. This bike can't happen. I'm sorry to the subscribers out there. No, I want it to be a decent looking race. This bike, you can't, that's two different animals there. This bike, on the other hand, this is the one you might want to shoot at. Remember, guys, a stage 2 Road King, carbon wheels, everything else is pretty much stock. Stock suspension. Stock clutch, stock compensator, on a belt, T-Man air breather, and a thunder header. Yeah, he has one too. You came and got the same part. So now we're pretty much running a similar setup, but you got more power. You got about 30 more horsepower than me. So since that's the case, make it a fair race. Give me the same race I gave you last year. Let me sit in front of you one time. Let's see what happens. We can race for your belt that I won from you last year. I will not put my belt up because I didn't win a belt last year. Okay, guys, if you don't understand that, I spent XYZ amount of money on my belt. He spent XYZ amount of money on his belt. Now, how is that fair when I win? It's not fair, guys. It's not fair. On top of the backlash, on top of no credit being given, on top of we did a bunch of content, but the views weren't there. The subscribers didn't come for that. What am I gonna do? You know, every time you try to discredit something and say, well, he has more power, he has a sponsor. That was one of the things. They said I had a sponsor behind me. George builds my bike, yes. You can't get mad at me because I know the right place to go. You just gotta understand that I'm not coming to just race you. You're not the big fish in the pond. You accepted the challenge. I think it would be exciting for the fans. You guys said, I can't ride. Well, clearly, something happened in that race that took this bike and put it in front of his bike by a good gap. If you were there, you kind of understood what happened. Now, am I supposed to just say, hey, willy-nilly, yes, you can race this bike and get nothing out of the deal? There's nothing else you can provide for me that would make me feel better unless you take this race. And if you beat this bike, I might give you a chance, because you said you were bringing a team. Now, I'm bringing a team too. I'm bringing a team of guys that have some decent bikes. But guess what? They're all from the shop. I'm not bringing just random guys, because you're bringing your team that's from All American Cycles too, right? Most of your guys got their bikes done some type of way from All American Cycles. Hey, it's an All American Cycles on All American Cycles type of fight. I don't really like it. But if you're going to oblige this race, then I can oblige that race. Guys, I want your comments. I want your comments. Comment down in the comment section. Tell me what you think. If you don't want to hit me in the comment section, you already know. Go to The Real Official Mac on Instagram and tell me what you think. Yeah, tell me what you think, because I want some action. But my whole weekend of fun is not going to be purely based on him or the race. He's trying to get his lick back from me. I don't need to get the lick back from you. Once it was done last year, I let it go. I never, ever just kept bringing it up. I brought it up maybe once to show that it was a victory. That's it. That's it. Can you guys imagine what it would have been if the shoe was on the other foot? It would have been bad. So if you want a victory, hey, play with this bike. Remember, you called this my race bike. I don't even know why, but that's just the ammunition that, you know, Anthony likes to use to say, oh, you're already this, that, and the other over me, and you want to be the underdog so bad. Well, you just went to the right shop. They gave you what you needed. Now, can you do something with it? I don't know. Is your setup right? Is your clutch hand right? Is any of these things correct? Because we talk, but at the end of the day, you want to compete. I understand. So, guys, you think I should give him a shot with that? He's definitely not getting a shot with this bike. This bike is way out of the category, way out of the league, and it's not even the same page. Guys, I appreciate you for watching, joining, subscribing. We don't want no conflict around here. All peace and love, baby. Peace.